What is up, everybody? It's your boy Duty back again with another video, and this time we're taking a look at our boy DSP's daily rap video after the kickoff of DSP Politics. That's right, you know your boy Duty is super excited to get that politics content, and last night did not disappoint. I mean, I'm gonna give some thoughts on the politics show on this video, but if you really want to know my deep take on this, check out my podcast today at 11 o'clock. I got special guest Ludwig World Order. We're going to be checking out that DSP Politics and giving our thoughts on the show. And woo boy, your boy Duty has a lot to say. So let's get into the video. Let's see what Phil had to say.
Good evening, everyone. Phil here, and welcome to the Daily Wrap for what was Thursday, the 14th of November, 2024. Pretty unique day. Want to know why? Because today, Today, I premiered a brand new show, and it was not on YouTube. Well, so let's talk. Today, we had a fun level 1 podcast in the morning, and if you haven't seen it yet, there was a lot of stuff that went on the podcast, including multiple different news stories about various different things, including Naughty Dog, Xbox, just a plethora of stuff. Really interesting stuff. I hope that you'll give it a look. I'm going to try to take some clips out of the podcast. However, I'm going to be very busy clipping because of the show that I did tonight, which I'm going to talk about in a moment. But yeah, lots of news that came tonight that came out today from the show. I hope you'll watch the show for a big giant gaming news update. Then on the first gameplay stream today, it was Dragon Age the Veilguard continuing on. And basically this time, we got out of the introductory part of the game. The game opened up a bit and gave us options of the first 3 major missions that we wanted to complete. We actually went through and did one of them, recruiting a brand new character who's an assassin, but also controls a demon, or the demon controls him. It's not really clear. Pretty fun. And to be honest, basically attendance was terrible. All right, not gonna lie. I think on YouTube I had 150 viewers, and on Kick I had like 40. So I couldn't even bring in 200 viewers. However, support was great. We had people supporting, and by the way, not just the usual suspects. We had a couple people who came by and said, "Hey, thanks for playing these kind of games, despite the fact they don't get a lot of views," and actually a giant tip. So basically, it went really well in that regard. But the thing is, attendance is really dwindling on this playthrough. I know for a fact the videos aren't getting many views either on YouTube. So already 7 hours in, seeing big diminishment in interest. I'm curious if we're going to keep it in the rotation. I'm thinking we would do another one, but I am nervous that if this continues, maybe we're not going to continue the streak, and it might end because people aren't interested in the game. I'm thinking about what happened with Metaphor when I loved it, played 12 hours of it, but I couldn't get people to come back to watch. I just think that these RPGs sadly are just not doing very well these days. And there's nothing I can really do about it. It seems like my audience isn't really into the RPG stuff. You know what I mean? So anyway, still a good stream. Support was good. And then on the late stream tonight,
all right, so yeah, your boy Duty has to say something about this. Yeah, attendance was terrible. He did get about 150 people and maybe about 15 people on Kick, and he was very, very extremely nervous. Our boy was sweating it. He was concerned that the dent streak was going to end, and that was because, of course, his 2 big dents weren't there. I mean, Ren wasn't there, didn't give anything, and DarksydePimp wasn't there, didn't give anything. Now, the interesting thing is that Ren has been MIA for a bit, so I'm not sure if he finally threw in the towel and said, "Yeah, this is pointless dropping money on this moron," and he quit. So right now, as of today, it's 2 folks. It's DarksydePimp and the Adam guy from Australia who keeps dropping those $100 donations, which essentially is $60, $66 in Australian. And lo and behold, that's what happened yesterday. Adam came in and dropped a $66 tip, and then dropped another super chat, and then dropped another tip, I think, or another super chat for about $40. So all in all, Adam gave about $100 out of like the $200 in support. And then I think somebody gifted a few memberships on YouTube, and one person gifted subs on Kick. He was sweating it. And yes, the views were abysmal. We're talking 150. It was super dead. I watched it for a little bit and just rage quit. Duty rage quit the watch because it was so boring. And it's his fault. He makes it super boring. I know a couple content creators that are playing the game on Twitch, and they're not big content creators, and they're making pretty good bank and getting pretty big views. There's just one new gamer on Twitch. He has probably like 1,000 followers, I think, or 1,000 subs, or he has whatever. They're not paying, but he gets about 1,000 people that are subbed to him, and he probably gets between 200 and 300 views per Twitch stream. And he's a really good player. He gives you some good knowledge about the game. He gives you some background. He interacts with his chat. He's really good. I think his name is Respector. I think that's his name. And he's pretty good. And he's playing this game, and he's doing great. People love it. He's interesting. He gives some really good details about it. That's how you play these RPGs, Phil. You don't sit there and try to get your chat to hold your hand throughout the game. That's the problem, Phil. You consider that interactive? That's not interactive. Interactive is talking to your chat about the development about the game, giving some insight about the game, and then people asking you questions and you trying to answer those. That's considered interactive. Not, oh, where do I go? I don't know what to do. How did it? No, Phil, that's not how you play. This is how you don't play Vanguard, Phil, or Veilguard or whatever. But yeah, he's gonna quit that. Give him another 2 or 3 streams, or maybe 1. The next one, if he's sweating support for the next stream, he'll probably wage quit it because he really doesn't care. The only reason why he's playing it is because it's free content. Whoever donated, which I don't think anyone donated it, but he got the content to play, and that's why he's playing it. If it wasn't for that, he wouldn't be playing this fucking game because he is super paranoid that RPGs don't bring the boys to the yard. And it's not just RPGs, Phil. It's everything you play. It doesn't really fucking matter, man. And again, if it isn't for your 2 to 3 whales that support, you're back, Phil, to your pre-Kino days where you have 1 to 3 people supporting you, and that's what's happening now. And what's gonna happen when DarksydePimp gets tired of supporting your ass, or he goes bankrupt? And it looks like again, rent bounce, Void is gone. So, but that's Phil's cycle. Phil's cycle is, he always needs 1 to 2 whales at a given time, and then what he hopes for is that if one of them leaves, he hopes he can replenish it, just like he did with Void. When Void left, who stepped up? Adam stepped up, so he became the third person of the third horseman, the third out of the 4 horsemen, Cat being the 4th one, right? So that's how his business model works. But of course, the problem with that is that you can't always count on having whales and thinking that 1 to 3 people can support your business, Phil. Anyway, I said too much about Beggard. I have a feeling he's gonna wage quit it. Just give him another 2 streams of dead support. All right, next topic, of course, DSP Politics, folks.
It was time for the premiere of DS Politics exclusively on Kick. Ladies and gentlemen, I said I'll probably get 200 viewers. I got over 1,000 viewers, even with 5 to 6 different trolls restreaming me. My views on the stream beat all of them. That's awesome. So thank you to those who were there, and it made it a great show. I covered 3 major topics. In addition, we had a little bit of Q&A at the end, and it went really smoothly. People were saying the stream quality was good, no technical issues whatsoever. Covered, I was able to play a bunch of clips and just jumped around, and just a good show. You can watch the show in its entirety right now if you want to watch the raw video over on my Kick channel, DSP Gaming Reel. But maybe you want something more digestible. If that's the case, I'm going to make highlight clips of the show over the course of this week. I'll probably make 1 or 2 highlights tonight and probably make more over the week, and those will be going live on DSP Reacts, my React channel on YouTube, pretty much nightly. All right, so I'll find the best clips, I'll zip around there, I'll try to find the best highlights, and it'll be a good one for those who weren't there for the show but just want to see these kind of highlights. Okay, so went well supported, people like the show, and immediately they're like, well, how can we be a part of the show? How are you going to pick your topics for future weeks? And I explained, if you become a submissions tier member on the DSP Reacts channel, I'm going to put up a thread once a week, much like how I was doing with the old DSP versus the Internet show. And that thread is going to be topics, political topics. You can post up videos, you can post up articles, things for me to look through and choose as objects of discussion for me to do on the show the next week. And I'm not saying that I'm guaranteed to do any of them, but it'll be what I will draw upon to try to find out what the hot topics are with the people, what you guys want me to discuss. Well, I'll also be following politics generally myself to get, interesting, selections and situations. So it's good. It's going to be a good show, I think. The first episode did incredibly well, was well received. People really liked it. Of course, a couple people got upset and then they were idiots because they couldn't justify what they were saying because they're just dunces. It was a good show. Overall, it really was.
All right, well, I'm going to stop it right there because I think that's a good point right there. That right there, folks, is why DSP Politics is going to fail. Phil's attitude. I watched the show and several people questioned him. They were questioning him, especially with his takes on Kamala, the Democrats losing the election and so on. But all right, you know what? Let me step back. All right, so here's my initial thought to DSP Politics. I think he's branding it incorrectly. It's not politics. He did 3 topics yesterday. 2 of the 3 weren't even political. The first one was about racist texts that were sent out. Just because it was after the election, he's tying it to politics. That's not politics. That's just idiots trolling people. That's the first thing. The second topic was, how did the Democrats lose the election? It shouldn't have been how the Democrats lose the election. It should have said, or he should have titled that, how did Kamala Harris lose the presidential election? Because that's all he talked about. He didn't get into the Senate. He didn't get into the congressional races. None of that. He talked about the Democrats and Kamala. So that was his topic, and it was so fucking generic. He gives the most generic fucking takes. Like, he's the type that says, oh yeah, I think Trump's gonna win Pennsylvania, and then you say, oh okay, well why do you think Trump's gonna win Pennsylvania? I just think he's gonna win Pennsylvania. That's his level of fucking takes. So fucking terrible. And the first topic was about those racist tweets, right? And Phil basically said that his trolling is just as bad, or almost worse. I think he said worse, essentially, than racism. That's what Phil actually said in that fucking segment. Now, you heard him right at the end of this clip. He said, oh, a couple people got butthurt because they couldn't defend their position. They couldn't defend their position and their dunces, blah, blah, blah. And he banned them, right? Is that what you're going to do, Phil? Every time someone has a different opinion than you, Phil, you're going to call them dunces and ban them? Is that what you're gonna do? Because I'm telling you, your audience is gonna dwindle super fucking quick if that's gonna be your position and everything. And of course, anytime you challenge Phil, he gets butthurt and needs to feel like he has the sense that if you disagree with him, you're attacking him. That's what it is. No one's attacking you, Phil. They just think they have a different opinion, or they have factual information to kind of disregard your opinion. And again, these are mostly all opinions, Phil. These are all opinions. So for you to sit there and trash someone because they had a different opinion than you keep that up, Phil, because that's going to be the fucking shit. That what's going to happen is there's going to be one fucking supporter, one whale out there that you're going to say something that's going to tick them the fuck off, and they're going to bounce, aka 1 Minute Man. Let's not forget what happened with 1 Minute Man, Phil. And that's just going to be fucking lovely. And you're already down to what? Two whales? Ren's MIA, DarksydePimp. If it wasn't for DarksydePimp, last night he dropped, I think, 40 subs for about, he gave about $200 in donations. If it wasn't for that, the show would have been a fucking disaster. And I think you maxed out at 650 views, right? I think that's what you ended up having on Kick. A good amount of them were trolls, Phil. You have three moderators in there fucking removing people, and I know because I was in there myself, and I just put one small comment. Even when it wasn't even a fucking sneak diss or anything. It was essentially about the racism text thing, and your moderator banned me on the spot. So a lot of it was trolling. I'd probably say you had about 300 to 400 people that wanted to watch your content. The other thing is that not a lot of restreamers restream your content. Rawphil restreamed it. And I think DSP Raw, not DSP Raw, yeah, DSP Raw, essentially a Dark Days Mirror account, he streamed it. And then I think Ludwig with someone was watching the stream, and he had maybe about 100 people or something like that. That's it. No one was really restreaming your content. No one was streaming this like we do other events for some reason. I don't know why. So that's probably why you got the 700 or so, the 650 people or so on your stream watching you, Phil. But let's see if you keep that up. Let's see what happens the next time you bring up this politics show. Your boy Dude's gonna be super excited. Now, I don't want to give all my thoughts on the politics show. I'll leave some of it for my podcast today. Don't forget, I'm going to be streaming today at 11 o'clock with Ludwig World Order. I know he watched it last night. He was streaming it, and he had a guest on, and they were talking about the politics. So I definitely want to hear his take. I have my takes on Phil and his views, and we differ on a lot of things. Not that we differ politically. I wouldn't say that. But his takes are just simplistic. They are. Like, he doesn't give any depth. He throws out information out there with no statistics whatsoever. And yeah, and I honestly think that the branding of the show's off. It's not politics. If it is politics, this show's gonna be fucking dead in several months, because the election's over. The election's over, and it has to be more like politics and culture. Like, if you want to go all in this Griffil, you're gonna have to do something like the Quartering, where they talk about culture, politics, pop culture, You're gonna have to do that if you want to make this interesting. You just can't call it politics. I'm sorry. Anyway, don't forget, folks, 11 o'clock, your boy Dude is gonna be streaming. It should be a lot of fun. Come on and hang out with your boy. Alrighty, folks, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace out.